There is one object in your cruise cabin that gets handled by hundreds of strangers and almost never gets washed, and right now it is probably sitting on your nightstand. Today I'm walking you through 14 of them, the things housekeeping genuinely does not clean between sailings, and exactly what to do about each one in about a minute of your time. Stay with me to the end, because the 14th thing has nothing to do with germs at all, and it is the one I would want you to check in your first 10 minutes on board. If we haven't met, I'm Amanda, your cruise companion. I've done more than 25 sailings now across Royal Caribbean, Carnival, MSC, Norwegian and Costa, and I learned most of this on a Costa Diadema cruise, where I brought one little packet of wipes as an afterthought and used every single one before Wednesday. Now let me be fair before I say anything else, because I don't want you clicking away from this thinking, cruise ships are filthy. They are not. Ships that call at United States ports get inspected twice a year, unannounced, and the scores are public. Most ships are cleaned harder than the average hotel. But here's the part nobody talks about. On turnaround day, one full set of passengers walks off, and another walks on within a matter of hours, and in that window the crew has to strip and reset the entire ship. Your steward is responsible for roughly 20 cabins. So what gets cleaned is what a reasonable person would clean in that time, which means the bathroom, the floor, the surfaces, and the bed. Everything else is on a slower rotation, and some of it is on no rotation at all. So let's start with the remote control. That is the thing on your nightstand. Think about who held it before you. On a 7-night sailing, you might have 2, 3, sometimes 4 people in that cabin, and that cabin turns over 50 times a year. That remote almost certainly does not get wiped between every one of those groups. Same with the buttons on the television itself. The fix takes about 20 seconds. Wipe it with a disinfecting wipe on day 1, and read the back of the packet, because most of them need the surface to stay visibly wet for a few minutes to actually do their job. A lot of cruisers I know just drop the remote in a sandwich bag and press the buttons right through the plastic. It works perfectly, and it looks a little ridiculous, and I have made my peace with that. Right next to it, and just as forgotten, is the little bank of light switches by your bed and the ones by the cabin door, plus the thermostat dial. Every hand that has ever stayed in that cabin has pressed those in the dark. The door handle on the inside gets missed too, because crew are cleaning surfaces, not fixtures. When I board, I take one wipe and I go around the entryway in a loop. Door handle, light panel, thermostat, closet handle. 30 seconds and it's done for the week. And speaking of things nobody wipes, look at the telephone. That handset gets picked up by every guest who ever called guest services at 11 at night, and I have never once seen a steward wipe a phone receiver. It is not on the list. It isn't a scandal, it's just not on the list. Now here's one that surprised me the first time I actually thought about it. The safe. Not just the keypad, which everyone presses with sandy hands after a beach day, but the inside of it. That little metal box does not get wiped out between cruises. On a Norwegian escape sailing a few years back, I opened mine on embarkation day and found a hair tie and a folded pharmacy receipt from someone who had sailed the week before. And while you're in there, do the thing almost nobody does, which is test the safe with the door open before you put anything valuable inside. Set your code, close it, open it, do it twice. Safes fail, and you would much rather find that out with an empty box. Now let's talk about the bed, because this next part is where people get most surprised. Your sheets are changed for you, absolutely, every single time. What is not changed every time is the decorative runner, that folded strip of fabric laid across the foot of the bed. Those things are washed on a rotation, not per guest, and they take every suitcase, every wet swimsuit, and every pair of shoes that ever got tossed on the bed. My rule is simple. Night 1, I fold it up and put it on the closet shelf, and I never think about it again. Which brings me to the duvet, and I want to be honest about this one, because policies genuinely vary, and the lines don't publish them. The sheets and the outer duvet cover are changed between guests. The blanket or the insert inside that cover is on a longer laundry cycle. Some lines are strict about it, some are not, and I don't have a way to tell you which ship you're on. So here's what I do, and it costs nothing. On day 1, I say to my steward, "Would it be possible to have fresh linen on the bed, including the cover, please?" That's it. Nobody has ever refused me, nobody has ever been offended, and it takes them a few minutes. There's no shame in asking. It's their job, and they're glad to do it. And this next one saved me from a genuinely unpleasant week: the drinking glasses and the ice bucket. In a perfect world, every glass goes down to the galley and through a commercial dishwasher. In the real world, on a rush turnaround, some glasses get a rinse in the cabin bathroom and go straight back on the tray. You can usually tell, because they look clean, but they smell faintly of nothing at all. If a glass looks even slightly cloudy to me, I just leave it out with a note, or I ask my steward for fresh glassware from a bar. And the ice bucket is the same story. Ask for a fresh liner, and if there's no liner, ask whether the bucket can be swapped. It's a 30-second request. Quick question for you while we're here, because I read the comments on these, and I love how differently we all do this. Which line do you sail most, and are you a wipes person or an it's fine person? Tell me below. I genuinely want to know which camp is bigger. Alright, and this next one nearly cost me $40 I did not need to spend. The hairdryer. Not the handle, the filter. Cruise cabin hairdryers have a little grill on the back, and that grill collects lint from every head of hair that has ever used it. Nobody cleans it, because nobody thinks of it. On MSC Seaside, Deck 10, I was convinced mine was broken. It blew barely warm air, took forever, and I was one browser tab away from ordering a travel dryer for $39 to bring on the next cruise. I mentioned it to my steward, mostly to complain, and he turned the thing over, popped the back grill off with his thumbnail, and pulled out a mat of gray lint the size of a walnut. Then he handed it back, and it worked perfectly. I felt genuinely foolish. So check the filter, or just ask, and if it's clogged, they'll sort it in a second. Then there's the mini fridge, or as I like to call it, the cooler that thinks it's a fridge. Most cabin fridges only chill to around the 50s, not proper refrigerator cold. What matters here is the rubber door seal, that folded gasket around the edge. It is a magnet for spills, and it is almost never wiped. And here's the money part. Ask your steward on day 1 to empty the minibar completely. 2 reasons. You get real space for your own water and your own snacks, and you remove any chance of a sensor charging you for a $12 can that you move to reach something else. Those charges are a nuisance to argue about at guest services on the last morning. Now, if you booked a balcony, this one is for you. The rail, the little table, and the chair cushions out there get a wipe when something obvious happens, not on a schedule. Ships throw salt spray and, depending on the ship and the wind, a fine gray soot from the funnel. I learned that on a Carnival Vista sailing, in a white linen shirt, leaning on the rail to watch us pull out of port. 2 gray stripes straight across my front, and I wore that shirt to dinner because I had nothing else pressed. Wipe the rail before you lean on it, and if you like reading out there, ask for a spare towel to throw over the chair. Related, and just as invisible, is the fabric. The sofa bed, and the little desk chair are spot cleaned when something is spilled, and deep cleaned in dry dock, which happens every few years. If somebody in your group is sleeping on the sofa bed, ask for a mattress protector. Most ships have them, they just don't offer. Then there's the space under the bed. It's not vacuumed under there on turnaround, and honestly, with the time they have, I understand why. But this matters for a reason that has nothing to do with dust. Under the bed is where lost things live. Phones, chargers, one shoe, reading glasses. Mine, on Harmony of the Seas, Deck 7, found by a steward on the last morning about 4 minutes before I would have left them behind forever. So look under there on day 1 so you know what you're working with, and look under there again before you walk off. That habit alone will save somebody watching this a phone. And in the bathroom, 2 things get missed constantly: the track at the bottom of the shower door, or the hem of the shower curtain if you've got a curtain, which stays damp for months at a time, and the push buttons on those wall-mounted soap and shampoo dispensers, which everybody presses with dirty hands before they wash, and nobody presses after. That's a small thing, but it's the kind of small thing that decides whether you spend a day of your vacation in the cabin. And I'll say this plainly because it matters. Hand sanitizer does not kill the bug that causes most stomach illness on ships. Soap and water for 20 seconds does. That's the whole trick. Which brings me to the 14th thing, the one I promised you at the start, and it has nothing to do with germs. Open your closet and look at the life jackets. Ships inspect them, but nobody washes them and, more importantly, nobody counts them for you. I have opened a closet and found 3 jackets for 2 people, and I have opened a closet and found 2 adult jackets in a cabin with a child in it. So on day 1, count them against the number of people sleeping in that cabin. Check that the straps and buckles are all there. If you need a child-sized jacket, ask your steward. They carry them, and it takes 1 request. Then go to your muster station, drill properly, and actually look at the exit. This costs you 60 seconds, on the first afternoon, when you have plenty of time. It is the single cheapest thing on this entire list, and it's the one I would never skip. So here's the whole takeaway. Your cabin is not dirty. It is just fast, and about 10 minutes of your attention on day 1 covers everything the clock didn't allow for. I've put together a deeper first-day cabin checklist that goes further than this video, and it's linked below if you want it. Subscribe if you'd like more of this, because the next few videos are all about the money the ship quietly assumes you'll hand over. I'm Amanda, your cruise companion. Wipe the remote, count the jackets, and I'll see you on the next one.